started. I'm starting. Dazza can just get his drink and be done with it. It's fine.
Told you we should have kept the Friday girl.
Seriously. We should have just kept the GIF up and not told him.
Just kept.
We're live?
Yeah, we're live. With all the technical issues still happening. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully, we don't have.
That's alright.
I don't hear a word of what you're saying, but I see your lips, Dazza. I saw your lips moving.
Right? Can anyone hear me?
Oh
He's
my
like-
god!
What? That's so weird.
What's going
What?
on?
Oh.
No, okay. Oh, the audio's starting to sync back up.
Okay.
It's your mouth was moving, but then like your words would happen way later.
Way later. Hello, everybody, and
What's up?
welcome to MangaPod. We're a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, lots and lots of spoilers, and lots of technical issues. One of those technical issues you may notice is that we are running at 5 frames per second right now. We've been trying to figure out what's going on with it, but we don't really understand. So hopefully you guys are able to listen and not be super bothered by the lag that's kind of unwatchable. But in terms of listening, there's also Skype issues happening in which we make the goat noises. Our voices turn into goats. So be aware
That's
that
true.
that's also happening.
That was Skype. That was obviously Skype.
That was-
wasn't you guys.
yeah.
To go.
Obviously.
What? Skype? What? You guys were trying to say something. What?
Oh, there it went. Right as you
Yeah, I heard it.
God damn it.
I am Erin, your host, and with me are my 3 lovely co-hosts, as well as a very special guest who has been on numerous manga pods before this. What's good, but co-host, how are you? How's it going?
That was a
God,
good.
I don't even know what that was.
That was a good save. Good save, Aaron.
That's right.
We're all doing great.
Good.
Uh,
Special guest, how are you?
I'm good. I'm fantastic. Better now that I'm here on the podcast.
Aww.
Aww. Nah.
My heart melts.
we always like to have you. Welcome.
Stop, you guys.
Speak for yourself, Yoki.
You. Wow, there's a lot of... Okay, before there's more hate happening, we'll just move on.
That was uncalled.
So rude. If you've never joined us for a manga pod before, what we like to do is give you a short, spoiler-free description, as well as our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should go and read the manga or not. And then if you don't want to be spoiled for it, after we give those, you can take your leave and then come back and watch the VOD of this after you've read it on my channel right here. It's going to be right here. I don't have to really say any more than that. It's going to be right here. But I will say that this is part 3 of our Berserk discussion, so we're probably all going to say that you should definitely go and read it. So, saying that also, this is going to be lots and lots of spoilers because we're 69 chapters into it now, so be prepared.
69.
We're mature.
Yeah. Mostly me.
You bring the level of maturity to MangaPod, just perfect.
That's me.
To about 10 years old.
10
years
About
old,
10.
yeah.
You're
To
the
be fair,
maturity we deserve.
I did make the 69 joke as soon as you sent me. I was just like, oh, what chapters were we supposed to read? You're like 37 to 69. I was like,
You actually text me, you're like,
yeah. That's me.
Read it. That little note by the what we're supposed to read for Berserk.
Yeah. Oh, I
was
forgot
also-
to put that in the title. I failed. Speaking of that, Yoku, would you like to describe the chapter and volume situation to our lovely viewers?
Oh
God, do it way better than I do, because I just go, I was confused.
Okay, originally we said we're reading volume 9 through 11, chapter 37 through 69. But really, what we were reading is volume 7 through 10, which is
What?
still chapter 37 through
Oh, that's
69.
right, Dazza, you weren't here for this discussion off screen.
Yeah, which is still, just listen, Dazza, just listen. Which is still chapter 37 through 69 if you count every chapter from the beginning. But the way Berserk does it is that it doesn't count volume 1 and 2, the prologue, the beginning where it explains Guts' story, his background story. It doesn't count that as, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It starts counting chapters once Griffith joins the story. So that's why some of you may be confused and maybe read ahead, like Aaron.
And Alex.
Yeah.
I read ahead just because I couldn't stop.
It's real good. It's real hard.
It was so hard for me to stop.
So good. Oh, wait until if you'd actually read it like a volume ahead, imagine having to stop there. Because that was like, Alex, stop!
We literally stopped 4 chapters before the most important event in the entire series.
Yeah.
Literally the most important. Nothing since then is more important than literally what happens in 4 chapters.
It's the one that is referenced when people talk about Berserk. They're all like,
They're all like,
clips.
oh, that chapter. Yeah,
No
yeah.
more!
They're like,
No
the Eclipse
more!
chapter, yeah.
Why did you do that chapter?
Well, it's 2 volumes. 2 more volumes then.
Just one more.
Well, it's like 1 and a
Well,
half.
2
Yeah.
if you read the same amount that
That we did, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
so?
So that was a sad thing, but let's go ahead and give our spoiler-free description. Mr. OctoPimp, will you read that for us, please?
Yes, I will. Guts, known as the Black Swordsman, seeks sanctuary from the demonic forces that pursue him and his woman, and also vengeance against the man who branded him as an unholy sacrifice. Aided only by his titanic strength, skill, and sword, Guts must struggle against his bleak destiny, all while fighting with a rage that might strip him of his humanity. Berserk is a dark and brooding story of outrageous swordplay and ominous fate in the theme of Shakespeare's Macbeth. I got it. I'm good.
Shakespeare.
Oh, Sharkspere?
Shakespeare.
I love Sharkspere.
Shakespeare
Okay.
is my favorite.
Classic.
Shakespeare's The Tempest is my favorite play, just of all time. Yeah.
Perfect.
This is going swimmingly.
Oh, it was going swimmingly.
It's like,
Good jokes, guys. We're off to a good start here.
Jokes.
everybody! Jokes.
We need the dancing girl, man.
Wait,
Yeah.
we like lights, everything.
hold on.
We'll show you the GIF that
say we
was
need
going to be
dancing
Daz's
girls?
GIF.
Hang on, where is it? Where did it go? Oh, it might be
We need to
behind
explain
Dazza.
that. Because
There
Dazza
it
doesn't
is.
know. Dazza doesn't even know. So.
Oh, he'll know. He'll know in approximately like 40 seconds when the stream updates.
Oh, but I'm
Catch
not even
us up.
watching the stream.
Dang it! So this is what happened, to explain what all of y'all in this place are seeing. Dazza was having internet issues, and we didn't know if he was going to be able to join him tonight, so we spent like 15 minutes trying to find the perfect GIF, and we were trying to find a good Momoy one that wouldn't get us kicked off of YouTube, though I guess YouTube would be more lenient, but just because, you know, sometimes if you haven't seen Kuroko and Basuke, there is a nice fan
Sometimes-
server is seen.
Oh,
She's
God.
got a lot of boobs.
She got a
Yeah,
lot of
there
boobs.
it is.
And so we were trying to find the perfect one, and they were like, oh, maybe we should just put a picture of pink. And that devolved into the picture of the girl wearing pink from Friday.
I found the GIF, and you guys suck.
Dude, it looks exactly like you. What are you talking about? Put you in a pink dress. That's it. Dude. Your
That's
dance
it.
The end.
Let's give
That's MangaPod, pretty much.
spoiler-free recommendations. Do you guys recommend this manga to people who have not read Berserk thus far?
Yes.
Yes.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
It's really good. It's adult warnings. All
Yeah.
possible adult
Yes.
warnings.
Anything adult warning that's possible is in this manga.
Yeah.
It's all there, all of it.
Literally.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
We're not exaggerating.
Highly,
here.
No.
highly mature. There is rape. There is in-depth sexual scenes. There is sexual tension. There is muscles.
There's also lots of intestines.
There's lots of-
Aaron's glossing over the big
I
issue.
was getting there. I was
Oh.
getting
All
there.
over the place.
Open up an anatomy
Let
book,
me-
go to a page, you will see that taken out of somebody.
Guys, I
Literally,
was
just
listing.
any page.
I was doing
It's
a
all there.
list. You guys stopped me. It was rude, but whatever. Gore. There's lots of gore. There's intestines. There's eyes being popped out of skulls, and it's great. So you should be warned about that, but it's also fantastic. And talking about story-wise as a recommendation, I highly recommend it. That it is one of the most beautifully developed manga stories thus far that I have read in a really, really long time. It's a very good seinen manga, and it has a lot of fantasy elements. It has a lot of hefty themes, and it's handled them incredibly well, and it's setting up some big stuff that is being set up very well. So I highly recommend it. I do not think you guys should be spoiled. If you have not read it yet, do not stay for this manga pod and go and read it, because you don't want to be spoiled for it. So there you go. Unless anyone else wants to say anything.
It's one of my favorite manga.
It's real good.
Really, really good.
It's good. It's real good. It's intense. It's an intense ride, but it's really good.
Sure.
And it's very engaging.
Oh, and it's
You
very
just- you just
immersive.
don't want to put it down. It's just like you keep reading. And even though it's very text heavy, it doesn't bore you at all.
Not in the slightest.
No.
It's great.
Every part of it is very interesting. So, we all recommend it. Go. Take your butts and leave. Oh, are we all holding up
Don't
cats?
forget your butts.
Don't forget your butts.
That'd be very awkward.
Here's
Entering
my
a
butt.
room.
Okay, yeah, so that is a spoiler free as this manga
Kitty
pod
butt.
is going to get kitty butt. There's
Kitty butt.
so much.
It's like, no.
She's gone.
What
There
is
she goes.
this? What is this manga pod happening? What's becoming? So, does anybody else have any other spoiler free recommendations or anything they want to add? Otherwise, we're gonna dive in.
I don't think so.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
As spoiler free as it's gonna get, count it
4,
down.
3, 2, 1. Get out of here. All right, we're in spoiler
Griffith
section.
is God.
Gotta do that for everything.
Every fucking time.
He also turns into a titan. Done.
I mean, we don't even really need to discuss this manga anymore.
That's it.
Happened.
Good manga pod, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. That was a joke. Stream is not actually over. Please don't leave.
Please don't leave.
Please stay in your seats. We have locked the doors, so you cannot leave. So stay in your seats.
The number
Press
of
the
people,
like button as
the number
well.
of people watching now just drops to 5. It's just
Yeah,
us.
it's just like
Good episode, guys.
Good. Shortest one yet. Go manga pod. Later. Okay, spoilery discussion. So where did we
leave off?
We left off after Casca and Guts fell off the cliff during.
Oh, the 100-man battle.
Yeah.
It was like in the
Yeah.
middle of the
Yeah.
100-man
Right.
battle.
Yeah. It was like after they fell off the cliff, and then there was the 100-man battle. Yeah.
Casca was being attacked by some people, and the rest of the band of the Hawk that were looking for them found her, and that's exactly where.
And then we were all like, "Why? Stop there!" Yeah. So that's where it picked up, and so there was a lot. But even though, like, thinking back on that, I'm like, there was so much that happened in what we read.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
a lot
But it
happened.
felt like it went by so fast. I was like, more. I need more.
The pacing of it was so good. It's so good.
Spot on.
From each scene, not even scene, but each like plot point from each battle to like them going back to the castle after the battle of the one castle, and then Griffith dying, and then so like just hitting every single plot point. The pacing of it was just so good. Like it didn't feel like it lingered on anything unnecessarily for an unnecessary length of time. That's what I thought. That was my
Definitely.
feelings.
Oh, I totally agree. Like, you're right. A lot happened in this. I actually went back and reread because I wasn't here for the last Berserk manga pod.
That's right.
I wasn't here for the second one, so I was like, I need to refresh on what happened in the last section. So I reread a bunch of chapters, and it feels like just a universe of things happened. I'm like, oh man, where did it end and where did it begin?
Oh,
But
really
it was
quick.
all so good.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, it's fine. Go.
I was gonna say really quick for chat to know where spoiler is gonna end. Like Yoku was saying that there was some confusion. I don't know if you actually said this. I might have just completely blanked out. But the last thing we read was them finding Griffith in the prison. So we did not read.
And that's it.
And that's it. So no spoilers for anything after that in chat.
Yeah.
So no rotten bacon butts. You will be banned. And know that on YouTube, if you get banned from the chat, you're like, I think banned from the channel. So
Yeah.
you'll get
big old
there's
deal.
no
Don't be
way.
a rotten bacon.
There's
Yeah,
like no
this is
way
serious.
to just time
Double
out
ban.
briefly. And so like we're not gonna like if you'll get a warning, but just know that just try not to post the spoilers. So
Water cheers, guys.
I know all of you drink. I don't have.
I'm drinking from a gallon.
I saw Yoku drink and I was like, I'm thirsty, so I grabbed my
I don't.
comically large mason jar.
Oh my
I
god,
just
it's
had like some
amazing.
cheese, man. I want some
I just have.
cheese.
I don't have water. I have Sinful Apple, Angry Orchard.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's backwards for you guys, but I promise it's
Drink.
a great pun.
Drink responsibly.
Kids drink responsibly. No.
No, it's not.
No, don't. Drink beers and then drive. MangaPod.
Here, what decisions that have
Yeah.
been said by our host.
Don't actually
Don't
do
actually
that.
do that. Please just
Don't actually do that. It's awful
They
They
and
get
illegal.
pulled, they get pulled over like, but MangaPod told me to do it.
We
If
will get shut
MangaPod
down.
told you to jump off a cliff, would you do that? It's like a dad talking to their kid about their bad friends.
We're the bad friends.
Bad friends.
That's us.
Mikey kids from
We
like
became
cereal.
the bad friends.
Mikey'll
we
do
will
it.
make you read gory and sexual manga that you shouldn't read. We tell you to jump off cliffs.
We tell you to drink and drive. I mean,
Dude, there were so many sex scenes.
oh my god.
Can
We went on for a long
Listen.
time.
I have a thing to say about that.
Hit it. Just do it. Let's dive into the sex.
Are we just gonna talk about that right now?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
talk about the sex.
Okay.
Let's hop in.
So literally, the way that they handle the sex scene between Guts and Casca is so good. It's so so good because is so vulnerable and it's literally just two people like who care about each other, and it's like the least superficial sex scene in any manga.
Yeah, it's not
I've ever
just
read.
the sex scene. It's
Yeah.
just there for
And
like
it's
half a chapter
literally, like-
or something.
Like Guts has this like serious like trauma that's happened to him as a kid, and he's like, listen, something super fucked up happened to me and it messed with me, and here it is. And Casca's like, listen, we're all like, I'm here for you, like it's okay, like I will support you. And it's just like they're naked and they're totally vulnerable and they're being like open with each other, and I'm like, this is so well written. This is crazy.
it was
Plus you get to
so
see
good.
Casca's amazing back. So
They were
Of
I think
all
it's-
the
I
things,
think-
I
of
think
all the
front
things
is
you could have
amazing.
ended that with, the back, not the butt, not the boobs.
oh, I literally I posted
I
it on my
loved it.
Twitter. I posted it on my
Loved
Twitter
it.
and I was like, damn!
That back.
Damn! Damn! Like literally, I was reading at my computer. I was just like, so no. Anyway, I love that scene. It is so well written, and it
So
shows
good.
two characters, warriors, and who are strong, and it shows them at their most vulnerable possible.
Yes.
They are literally naked, talking about like how vulnerable they are, and it's just great. It's just a
For
great.
like a long time. They're naked. Not even just the sex scene goes on for a long time. Like they are naked together discussing
oh yeah.
their lives
yeah,
for
like
like
3 chapters.
yeah, a really long time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And can I also admit how realistic it was as well?
Yes.
Like I don't know about you guys, but when I have sex with people, or with my girlfriend, I should say.
I mean, it's like,
With my
Yes.
girlfriend, I'll just backtrack there.
Right. Uh-huh.
With
You're naked
people.
and you talk afterwards and you cuddle and you do all those things and it was all there.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
perfect. It was
Exactly.
like in a lot of manga I've read, not counting hentai, but a lot of manga
The
I've
break
read,
face.
the sex
break
scene
face.
has the sex scenes have been very just unrealistic. You kind of get in, the girl squeals for a bit and he comes. That's basically it. And then you do something else. But here you see the build up, you see the tension, you see the sexual energy between the two characters, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's very.
And
Yeah.
body is amazing. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna say.
damn.
Hey, so
Yeah.
is his.
Like,
He's
Her
got
arms
some.
great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
that's-
god, though. But like the second that the frame came up where he's like flashing back on all that stuff. Okay, so I'm like reading through this chapter. Sam walks by behind me and is like, "Whoa, you're reading some sex. There's a lot of sex going on over there." And then I immediately click to the next page.
Oh, no.
And it's a flashback to that, and he was like, "What the fuck are you reading?" And I was like, "I literally can't explain this to you. Like, I literally, like, I just can't." And he was like, "No, seriously, like, what just happened?" And I was like, I can't. I literally have to explain this entire manga to you."
It's like Berserk. It's Berserk.
It's
Just Berserk.
it is Berserk.
trauma. A lot of shit went down in his life. And he's dealing with that, and it's a very sweet sex scene that's going on right now. And he was like,
He's like, yes,
Like-
okay. But that's like, we talked about this when we first read when Guts was raped. We talked about that, how it was handled incredibly well. Especially considering the kind of rape it was. Because rape in general in a lot of anime manga tends to get brushed off and used in a very, like, not very good way. But we
Gans.
Gans, yes. So the way they handled it then was very impressive, and then the way they handled the flashback and the trauma that came along with it was just as impressive, and it made me very happy because it was that way with a lot of things that I felt like there was a lot of stuff that could have been handled very stereotypically, like oh fuck, that's not a part we read. God damn it.
Oh.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
You're gonna be a.
I know exactly the part that you were talking
But
about. too.
I had something that I was like, God, I'm gonna feel so smart saying this, and I can't say it. But the way that Costco is handled, like all of the females, they weren't handled in a way that was like, hey, here's a girl for her boobs. It was like, hey, the stuff that goes along with like sex and all of this that's more important than the fact that she has boobs.
"Yeah."
It was like they weren't afraid.
I just want to say one of my favorite parts about the entire sex scene was when Guts. Guts
Different.
Guts didn't have sex with Casca, but when Guts grabbed Casca's boobs, and not like grabbed like grab like that, he like cupped them properly. I'm just like, that's how you do it. You don't
That's
just
what you
grab.
do.
You
Yeah.
cup. You cup. And I'm just like,
Exactly. It was like he wasn't treating her as a sex object or as a way to get off. It was like
It was
an
to-
intimate,
respect.
hey, yeah, it was respect. And that's something this manga has done really well, is show respect between people. And
Not only-
in relationships.
This wasn't the only sex scene either that was more than just a sex scene. The one between Griffith and Princess Charlotte also had a lot going on there that you could
Yes.
tell was happening, like
Yes.
emotionally to both people. And I was like, how does everybody else do this wrong? And somehow you're able to do this so right.
With like
it's
three,
insane.
yeah, God, it was so good.
Compare the two scenes. It's really interesting. There's a
It is so
completely different feel between
Yeah.
the two scenes.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Because, and it's like,
Yeah.
what's so interesting about it is like, with Griffiths, he's the one who so often is like so composed, and you're seeing that the outside he's like composed and thinking constantly and planning, strategic. But when he has his sex scene, not thinking all motion because he's broken without guts. He's just completely lost it. Like he's had a mental breakdown. Whereas with Guts and Casca, like they're both, even though Guts has that trauma, like he's able to overcome it with Casca, and the way, the mentality and like the feeling atmosphere between the two sex scenes is very interesting to compare.
Oh God, but like thinking of the one with Griffith and Charlotte makes me remember Charlotte's dad, and now
I
I'm like
was gonna-
grossed out.
Oh, that was
that
not
whole
cool.
thing, I was like, no, gross, no. Like
I was
The
Wait,
whole
the
time
way
I
he,
was
the
like,
way he
this-
drew with
kick
all
her off,
these
though.
shadows, he made him look like
he was
He-
terrified.
crazy,
He
yeah.
draws them like the demons. He draws them like the apostles.
Yeah.
It's completely different than everything else. Even not only the humans, but also if you look at that scene, he's drawn different than everything else in that entire scene.
Yeah.
He's the only one who's drawn with heavy shadows. The rest of the room is drawn normally, and it's he draws them like the demons and the apostles, and it's like
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
symbolism.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, especially going back to, like, the chapters before all of the flashback started happening, like, that's been consistently the way he's denoted somebody who's overcome by, like a human sin of some sort. Like, something that is just, like, darkening his soul. And I was just like, oh God, this needs to stop. And then, like, later on, when Charlotte reflected back on it too, I was like, no, don't think about it. Oh God, don't, please.
Push it away. Just
Because
push
it made
away.
us feel uncomfortable.
It
And that's
did.
what
Oh,
the
yeah,
manga
it
is
did it
perfect. It makes you
perfectly.
feel so uncomfortable. And there are so many scenes of, like, rape in different mangas where you just watch thinking, this isn't nice, you know? But it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, where that scene did. It made you feel disgusted for her, you know? It was just like,
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way he's able to display characters' emotions through not just like facial expressions, but through the pacing of the panels and the drawing of like the symbolism with the coloring and the shading and the lack of dialogue. Like during Griffith's and Charlotte's sex scene, there was like not much dialogue happening. If I
Not at
remember,
all.
yeah, there was like none happening at all. It was a very cold sex scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus Griffith's face the whole time.
Oh my god, I was so terrified during sex. I was like,
That was like his whole face the whole time he was during that sex scene was when it's exactly the same face that we saw when he gave that weird stare to one of those
Yeah.
yeah.
one of those government guys,
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
bald guy. That's kind of how he was the whole time. He was just like pretty much the inside, how he is inside, which kind of
Yeah.
came out because
He's got
Guts
nothing
was
there.
holding him. Guts was holding him
Yeah.
together.
Oh, what was I gonna say? The start saying goodbye to her maids or whatever, and then she turns around and fucking Griffith's just hanging by a tree. Being like, I was like,
Oh, hey, girl.
my God.
Oh, what up? And
was
she's
like- it's like, no, Griffith, that's not how you do. That's not how you do.
Well,
But
I
it
mean,
worked.
Griffith's one of those dudes who's just like, I'm here. Is everybody ready to pay attention to me? And everybody's
He's-
like, oh, Griffith! And he's like, aye.
He made it
He
work.
he can show up in a window and he knows it's going to be alright.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to have that face, though. Gave me
Hey, girl.
nightmares.
Hey girl, I'm in your
girl.
tree.
Oh,
I
hey,
got
girl,
wood.
I'm in your tree.
I got wood. You get it? No, I'm just kidding. It's cold. Let me in.
That's pretty much how it was.
That's how it was. That's literally how it was. She was just like, all right, just let me in. She's like,
Just let me in.
you could get in trouble. He's like, nah.
Nah, I won't.
That won't happen.
Smash cut.
It's fine.
Smash
Don't worry
cut to
about
him
it.
tied up in a dungeon, tortured for literally a year straight.
Oh my god.
Griffith?
I'm so sad that we can't talk about like what happens beyond them just seeing him on the floor in that cell.
Yup.
But like,
Cause it's real bad. It's real bad. Yeah.
Man.
we did see him like seeing stuff. You know, like in there
Little
all
demons.
alone in the dark, seeing stuff.
They were
And I was
calling
like,
for him. They were
"It's been
calling
a year. It's been a year, and the Skull Knight was like, "Yo, dogs, in a year, shit's going down." I was like, "It's been a year."
Okay.
I'm not too sure if it's just the demons coming against him, or it's supposed to represent schizophrenia or what. But I'm just like,
I guess
They
we'll
were
find
calling
out.
him.
I haven't read far enough to know either.
I haven't either. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm really glad you brought up him hearing stuff in his head, because when he's like in the dungeon and he's like seeing all the visions and stuff, the only person he specifies is Guts.
yeah.
Interesting, because he doesn't think of anyone else who's been there for him at all. He doesn't
Yeah.
mention anybody else specifically except Guts. So everybody else who like means something to him.
Doesn't really mean anything to him.
Well, I think they do, but remember that whole thing he always says, you know, you're just a pebble on the road or whatever? Like, Guts is the only person he thinks of specifically in his head during that. And that's super interesting to me.
Yeah, he's like, I had many comrades, many people working with me. Like I had
Mhm.
thousands of people, and I had like tens of thousands of enemies. But that's kind of how he mentioned everybody else. And then he's like, but Guts. Guts.
Guts belongs to me, or do I belong to him? And then he's banging Charlotte, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Guts, why did you have to leave?"
And then he just starts, he like curls up and just starts crying while thinking about
was
Guts
like,
leaving. I
Oh
was
my
like,
god!
he touches
You
the
are-
scar or the injury, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Some-
man.
There's some obsessive stuff going on in there. For Guts.
He's
Somebody. Oh, sorry, guys.
no, go ahead.
Okay. I was
Everybody is interrupting one another.
Yes.
Okay. While we're on the subject of Guts and Griffith, am I the only one that thinks that Griffith is in love with Guts?
No. I
get
feel
the
that way
feeling-
too.
Yeah, I get the
I
feeling.
feel like he's platonic in love with him, like as like a companion, as like
Like,
I-
no
I-
one will ever be my peer, but
yeah,
Guts.
Yeah, it's only
Guts,
equal,
yeah.
pretty much.
yeah.
But Guts doesn't see himself as equal to
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Griffith.
that's why he got stronger, because Griffith. And okay, I'm gonna get into a crazy theory, unless anybody wants to say something first.
Go for
no,
it.
hit it.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I have a lot of I love Berserk. It's like one of my favorite series, and this is a theory specifically about this is that so Griffith has this set goal in mind, right, and a dream. Guts does not. He doesn't have a dream. So when Griffith reaches that level, that's his goal. That's his dream. But Guts doesn't have one, and so like he says, if you don't have a dream, then what's the point? But because he doesn't, he just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger because he's not working towards anything specifically. He's just like, I'm going to keep working until I have a dream or until I find something. And so, you know, that's why he was able to defeat Griffith in just one swing. Because he was like, because all Griffith has been focusing on is that one dream. And that's like, he says it can help you achieve anything, but this kind of shows you the converse in that it's limiting. And that if you're only on a one-track mind like that, you neglect everything else. And he'd been neglecting everything else, his combat training and everything like that. Well, Guts was the raid leader for 4 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Guts is like, listen, I don't have a dream, but I know I can beat you. And so he's just like, and he just beat him, and that was it, because he's been working so long trying to find his dream or find his way or whatever. So that's me. That's my theory.
Yeah,
I like that theory.
I kind of feel the same way as Dazza, though. There's definitely like a possessiveness
Oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure. Like,
he's like obsessed.
yeah, like an obsessive possessiveness about Guts that is, I don't know, that could be considered to be sexual, I think, and I think is supposed to come off a bit sexual.
yeah.
Because
Definitely. I can
I
see
think
that.
I'm not entirely sure if Griffith is bisexual or not, or just plain gay and just has sex to
Just
get what
plain
he
gay.
wants.
Just plain gay.
Regular vanilla
I don't-
gay.
Everybody's a pebble, man.
So Yoku is going for bi. All right, cool.
Right.
Pansexual, doesn't matter. They're all pebbles.
Like,
Griffith, are you gay or straight? Yes.
what? That's pretty.
Everyone's a pebble, man.
Everyone's a pebble, man.
Hang on, I need to tweet that.
Everyone's a
Keep
I
talking.
feel like pausing.
But yeah,
I've only
I-
got one thing in my mind at the moment. I'm just not going to say it.
But yeah, I absolutely loved the scene that showcased that the best, I think, was when Guts was like, "See you guys, I'm leaving." And everybody was like, "No, don't go." And Griffith was like, "You aren't leaving until you defeat me." And Guts was like, "Okay."
Owned.
Yeah, yeah.
He's literally one hit and was like, "All right, bye."
He doesn't even turn around. He doesn't even turn around.
Yeah.
And Griffith was like,
He could have. He could have.
Oh my god! Did anybody else kind of chuckle when Guts is walking into the snowy sunset and Casca is just like giant, so it just looks like he's walking into Casca? Did nobody else jump?
Well, he does eventually.
I
so.
thought, yeah, no, I was like, oh, that's some hella
Holds on.
foreshadowing right there. But
Wow.
Casca's just like
Literal
full of
foreshadowing.
giant,
Foreshadowing.
literal for. Oh, you Yoku. Anyway, I'm gonna finish the BRB.
I was really glad that he and Casca got together because I fucking love Casca so much.
She's my waifu for
so
life.
awesome. So like, I don't know, and like the Guts that we saw at the very beginning of this manga is so jaded and closed off, and seeing how the healthiest Guts so far. And so I'm just like, what's gonna happen to ruin this? Like, I'm so sad. I don't want to read more and see it all get ruined, because it's gonna.
That's something that I was thinking as I was reading it. I was like, because I remember when the first MangaPod, I was one of the people that was like, I didn't enjoy it until it hit the flashback. But now that I'm looking back on it, I'm like, I can appreciate those first few chapters so much more, because I'm like, God, I know all of this is going to happen, but the ride getting there has been so good that at times I forget that we already know a specific outcome, like a certain outcome of what's going to happen. So I love when authors are able to do that, where they set something up, like a person's personality or just who they are, and then they do the flashback and they're able to layer it so well, and that you just are you're not looking forward to the end, you're just enjoying what's happening as you're
in the ride.
Even though you know something is gonna happen, but you're just like, God, this is so good that you don't even think about it half the time.
Yeah.
I posted two of my favorite panels from the last section that we read that I think are really, really good, summing up of.
I love that part.
I actually really,
These are
I
two
really
good
like
ones.
the relationship between Guts and Casca after they have sex.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
It's really playful. And
Everybody
it's fantastic.
notices.
I know. Everybody's
She like comes up
lol,
straight
lol.
to his face.
Everybody's
You know,
like-
you see this, that.
She holds his cape. He's like, want to hold hands, and she's like, no, don't be a dumb baka. And then he's like walking away, and she's like, hold your cape. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's like classic tsundere right there. It was so good.
It
Yeah,
was
seriously.
so cute.
A warrior today.
Yeah,
A
seriously.
warrior tsundere.
And then also,
Yo,
I
cool.
screenshotted this panel because this is like the only time that Griffith has ever drawn with an anime face, and it's really weird and disconcerting to be
Right?
honest. Like,
I thought that too when I saw
did
that.
you think that? Yeah, I was just like, that's weird.
For
Yeah.
anybody who's watching a chat doesn't know quite what we're talking about, there's the part after Griffith fakes his death, and they kill a bunch of people, a lot of shit goes down, and then Guts gives him a little pat on the shoulder, and it's adorable. It's
Yeah,
really
and it's
cute.
real cute. It's real cool.
It's those major kawaii.
So kawaii.
Yeah. I thought that the whole, I don't know, I felt like the Griffith being assassinated was taken care of too easily.
Yep.
Almost.
Yeah.
It was
I was like,
so...
really?
Okay,
He was like, I knew you wanted me dead from the first time we locked eyes. And I was like, yeah, but that doesn't explain why you knew the exact day that they were gonna poison you.
I agree with that.
It was like
if
a day
there's-
before.
If there was a big like, oh, this was incredibly convenient, it was that. It was that part.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because he was able to get rid of the politicians that were plotting against him. He was able to
Yeah,
get
he
rid
like
of the
set
queen.
them all on fire. Was
And
It
like,
the
was
queen.
so fast. And then they were like, okay, well, now that we did this, let's round up anybody else that could potentially tell anybody. And then it was done. It was like, that was way too fast to be taken. Like, oh yeah,
It was
that
like
well
with
done.
it was like within a chapter. Like
It was-
they're all like sitting there like, yeah, we did it, guys. That's good
I
job.
have to kind of disagree because he did take the child of the guy that wanted to destroy him. So obviously he got the information from him to be able to do the plan. So it wasn't just I just kill everyone here. He obviously would have been able to formulate something. And I do kind of agree that it was done too fast.
Mm-hmm.
But there was obviously some time in between when he stole the child and got all the information where he organized everything, and it would have been a little nice to have
I think
that
he said. I think
flashback.
they actually said like a week or something. They had to
Yeah.
like watch the kid for a week, so there
Yeah,
was, I
yeah.
guess, like a week difference.
That's true.
But it would have been nice to have that flashback there to kind of make us not think of Griffith as this almighty god who can just destroy people at a
Give a
whim.
look and know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
It's like the Gios.
all of that was the beginning of Guts basically just killing anybody that Griffith wanted him to, though.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting.
And
Just how-
oh, sorry.
Oh, all I was gonna say was just it was just interesting to me how Guts was like, "Yo, dog, I'm your sword, so whatever." And he was like, "All right, kill that guy who tried to poison me, and then kill all those dudes, and then kill that guy." And then they have that scene where he's like, "Do you think I'm a bad person?"
Howdy,
It's like, well,
Kind of.
kind of a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I was gonna.
Wait. Guys, just so one thing. It kind of has to do with the whole killing like people. It kind of reminded me. You know how he killed Julius, and he killed his son.
Yeah.
You think Griffith? Do you think he planned it that he would kill his son? Because he was.
Probably.
I wouldn't
He
go
was
that
no,
far.
because
I don't know.
the son was supposed to marry Charlotte, and
That's
he would be
true.
in
That's
the way.
true.
So
That's true.
I think
Griffith
he
was
did.
like, "It's all right."
Yes, I
alright.
wouldn't put
After
it
that-
past. Yeah.
I could
True.
see him actually like kind of planning out that like maybe it's that day that they would be like, because it's the training day or whatever.
I thought that.
I feel Griffith is very much like what's his name? The guy from Code Geass, the main guy.
Lelouch.
Luch.
He's very Lelouch-ish,
Lulu.
right? Where
Yeah, bratan.
where he knows pretty much what's happening, and he does everything to a T. Not everything that has happened has gone according to his plan. And I would say maybe, just as kind of like a thought to the future, that maybe his imprisonment was part of the plan as well, to make the princess go against the king and thus overthrow him at some stage. My
I
opinion.
actually might disagree with that
I don't think it was,
because for
That'd be
me,
crazy.
I think that Griffith getting imprisoned was not part of his plan because I think after Guts left, he
broke.
broke.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
was. I think it was the downfall of him not being strategic as he used to be. I think
Like
it
we
was his
actually
downfall.
didn't even see him after the whole fight with Griffith and Guts, and like that when he got knocked down, he was just like shit. Like we didn't even see him talk until that window moment, and then he pretty much disappeared afterwards. And then he did the whole thing with Charlotte, and then he got imprisoned for a year.
Well, yeah,
whole
like
thing?
the whole.
this thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Are we all doing different kinds of sex? What is this one, Alex?
I'm pretty sure it was more like this one.
The
But
wave. Yoku's is the wave. Mine is just.
Doing a little bit of this,
That's a little too
a
much,
little
man.
of this.
That was a little
too far. Too far. Too far.
You gotta go a little bit. That's like
No one starts with that. No one starts with that, Alex.
You work up to that.
Yeah, you work up to that.
Yeah.
Charlotte wouldn't be able to handle that.
Oh my gosh!
God.
Oh my
She's a
god!
newbie.
Now I'm just thinking of Charlotte and like Griffith's body's just like
Just fucking. Oh, now
What
I'm
is this?
thinking of
Uzumaki.
It was
That's what I'm
Uzumaki,
thinking.
yeah, just like, see ya, we're gonna go in the sea and be together forever.
That's
Okay,
a horrible
anyway.
connection. It always comes back to Uzumaki.
It always comes back to Uzumaki, like a spiral.
always comes back to the spiral.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Griffith,
Oh, we were talking about them pumping
Yeah,
out.
we're. How could you forget?
They were porking. They were porking.
They were
yeah.
porking a little, yeah.
porking.
Yeah.
And then he
A
cried.
little.
Um.
Cry.
Oh yeah, we
But-
were talking about how that was like Griffith's breaking point. How he stopped being the cool,
He would-
level-headed
yeah.
strategist that he was.
He wouldn't have done that had Guts not left because he was just like, shit, I think he just felt like he wasn't in control anymore. So he was just like, in order to be in control, I have to go do this.
It was
And
like
so he
it was a mental break.
did that.
Like, it
Oh,
was
he did
literally.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, it's all Guts' fault. Do you think
Fucking Guts.
Do you think it's all Guts'
Okay.
fault? You think it would have happened? It would have happened eventually. Like
Yeah, but it would have been much farther down the line.
Yeah,
And it would have been much more planned out. But I think he just sort of felt like I have to do something.
Yeah.
that's him. That's like how
yeah.
he is inside. It would have eventually seeped through to the outside. There's no way he would, unless Guts decided to be his sword forever.
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 Oh no.
No, because I mean, like, the hatred from the nobility had been ever since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that was like something that was brewing and that was going to come to a boiling point eventually.
Yeah, some crazy classism going on. They literally.
Yeah.
But
You
for
blame
people that,
Guts though.
yeah,
You blame Guts for that. Corcus is like, hey, your fault.
No.
Like that's like the most like Corcus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corcus is the guy with the long hair.
Yeah.
Corcus is the guy.
Corcus?
Corcus.
Who's actually voiced by Sean Schemmel in the anime, so it's literally just his Goku voice. So it's just like he just like shows up and he's like, "Let's hear it for Captain Guts," and I'm just like, "What the fuck, Goku? What are you doing?"
With the weird, that's like
Watch the Berserk outtakes of the anime, and it's maybe one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like I recommend they're on YouTube. You can watch them, but it's really good.
Yeah, Corcus is the last person you would expect to be like,
Yeah.
like, that ain't your fault, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of, I guess, expected it to happen eventually as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think, like, because they had that whole altercation where he was like, how can you just throw this all away? Like, people would literally do anything to get to this point from where we started, and you're just, like, walking away from it. Like, that's so irresponsible of you, you know?
Yeah.
And then when he shows up at the camp, I'm just kind of like, look, dude, we're all back to square one. Like, whatever.
Oh, Corcus is a freaking tsundere. That's what he is. Because
I love him.
he does deep down love Guts.
I don't think he does. I think that he.
No, he even like he's like, I'm going to sleep. You know, and he after the whole argument, like, oh, you're like abandoning this, and he kind of left. And then like when Guts was leaving, he was there with everybody else.
He did come.
Could have not.
I think he does like Guts a lot.
He
but
respects
doesn't
him a lot.
understand Guts.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people in this manga understand Guts. Not that I say I do very much, but
he's an open book. It's fine.
yeah, I think I think Guts is on a path that he wants to make himself, but people are just like, but you've got like gold and women and everything throwing themselves at you. Why don't you want to stay here? And no one understands why he doesn't.
He doesn't know anything else apart from the sword. That's his life.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
was born. He believes that he was practically born to wield that sword.
Yeah.
That's
He was
him.
forged names.
Or at
And he
the
must
very
carry
least, he feels like his life up till then will have been a waste if he doesn't
Yeah.
continue doing
That's
what
fine.
he's been doing his whole life.
Wait, did you just quote "Through Fire and Flames" song?
Yes, I'm so happy you got that.
I'm like, wait.
I was watching.
Hold on.
I was watching the gears and Yoku's face turn, and he was like,
Carry on. Right.
I love
Let's
that.
carry on, guys.
I was, yes,
Oh,
good.
oh, is it?
Nice.
We got to see more of the Skull Knight in this section,
Yes, I was
but
gonna bring him up.
Skull Knight.
Skull Knight is interesting.
Don't spoil
Yeah.
anything.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I can't, because he literally shows up once in the whole time we read. I think he only shows up
no,
one time.
actually, he shows up a few times.
Does he show up more than once?
Yeah, he shows up with the.
I've only read up to chapter 69 here.
Richter.
Wait,
So we actually find out, or at least we have a
We
kind of
did
inkling
get
that he's
that
actually the
part.
king, the
Yeah,
original
the-
king.
like 1,000 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he
There-
had.
That's interesting.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay,
there's
I
no.
remember. I was like, wait, it's so hard.
Yeah, that's true.
At that
Because they
moment.
talked about him having like a skull
Yeah.
helmet, like
Yeah.
a terrifying skull helmet that he
The-
always wore.
And
he's
this is
I don't know about you guys, but that was just an
Yeah.
very easy. Oh yeah, he's the skull guy. He's got to
And
be.
Guts,
It's
Guts
not
even
that
thinks
hard.
about the Skull Knight.
Yeah.
there's this isn't necessarily a spoiler. They never confirm that. They bring it up like one time and they're like, whoa, this emperor had this crazy skull helmet, and it's just like they never actually confirm it. So it's just sort of like up to your imagination
That was
as
just
right now.
So the answer is yes.
It it's probably so
Yeah,
obvious
I mean-
that they never confirm it.
yeah, it's just they're probably just like
There's
they're
like,
probably
if
just
you
like,
didn't
come
get
on,
it by
like,
now,
yeah.
You're an idiot.
dummies.
But
You're obviously not involved in the fandom enough. If you haven't figured this out, okay, go back
I
and
like that.
double check on your lore.
I do like that because there's a lot of media out there who just blatantly say, "Oh, it's this,"
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
where they give you the clues, but then they just blatantly say it. Well, I like the fact that they're just like, "Oh, it could be this," and just leaves it up to you to be like, oh yeah, well of course it has to be because of this reason.
That's a heavy
So-
trope in a lot of shonen manga and anime where it's like, it was this person, and it's like an outline of the person, but the only thing you can't see is their face shadowed up as same hair and clothes and everything. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
who could that be?
There's a
Who's that
lot. They do
Pokemon?
that a lot in JoJo's. But no. Gesserit. That's his name. The Emperor Gesserit.
Wait, so he's the ancestor of the king right now. The king that's like
Of the current House of Midland. Yeah.
so that's like thousands of thousand or thousands.
I think it was like 1,000 years
Has it-
ago.
So he's pretty much like the descendant. Okay.
Oh God, remember that crazy word for Midlands, guys?
Oh my god, yeah? I was
Wait,
like,
I want to go find
Find
it.
it.
and try to
I was
say
a
it.
little bit annoyed that was a Japanese word because it was very Japanesey, that word, unless the translator got that wrong. But I'm just like,
Oh, I thought that
really?
it reminded me of, like Swedish words.
yeah,
What was
it
the-
sounded
what
very,
was this?
you're like, huh?
What was this?
When they're
The giant
when they're walking down the steps and Charlotte is telling them like the word for
The
Midlands.
Oh yeah.
The way I read it was like blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I didn't even read it. I didn't even try.
Blah, 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 blah.
I had like the last few letters, and then I was just like, oh, that's Japanese. Okay, that's strange.
I would have been like Chan. No.
John?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and they bring
Ku-
the accents as well.
Kuniochu Onochi.
Yeah.
Kuniochi Onochi,
Kuniochi Nunochi.
which translates to
Mochi! Mochi! It's rice! It's rice ice cream.
Oh,
That's,
okay, cool.
that's what it is.
Done.
Midland.
Got
Okay.
it.
All makes sense now.
Boom, nailed it.
Boom. Okay, hang on. I'm trying to find...
You're right though. Reading it again, it does sound like a Japanese word.
Yeah.
It's like a really long Japanese word.
But yeah, some shit went down back then, though. Back like again during. that
Oh
whole
yeah,
history.
well there's all the skulls in the bottom of that area, like all those skeletons with that same branding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that same branding that
The
Guts
brand
has
of
later on.
sacrifice. Yeah.
So some shit went down.
Yeah. It's
I
so
wonder if we're ever seeing more of that.
it's so exciting because like I said, I mean, we're getting to that point because at the beginning, I mean, now Guts is like he's working out, his sort of problems and his fears and his penchant of running away, and like all of a sudden, but we're like, oh, but he's gonna turn into this misanthropic grouch. Like, how does that happen?
yeah, and have
Yeah.
a little
Same-
fairy companion.
Yeah,
Same,
fucking
same thing
Puck,
with Griffith.
man.
We saw the rise and fall of Griffith practically. So that's
Yeah, so
and then
right
we
now
also
we're on
know
the-
what's up with. We also know that Griffith becomes that black angel
Yeah.
hawk thing.
By the way, did you guys notice, this might have just been me being like, oh, maybe this is a thing. But when Judal gave, what's his name?
Judia.
When he gave Casca the medicine for Guts' wounds from a fairy.
The
and
fairy-
It was like little Pip.
Yeah.
I was like, is it maybe Pip? I like to think it
Yeah.
was. Or not Pip. Puck!
Fuck. Yeah.
Pip.
At
Pimp.
first I thought you said pimp.
I thought you said
Oh, maybe it was that little
Proud of
giant P from the first
Proud
chapter.
of this little pimp.
That would have been better. What is... There's a fairy named Pip in something, isn't there? Am I imagining?
Pippin.
Yes.
No, Pippin. There's a
I
character
know there's
named
a character
Pippin.
named Pippin.
No, but like in a different thing.
Yeah.
Pippin. That's
Hey Pip, thanks for your fairy dust.
some crazy.
Did you guys notice the other fairy that was hanging about with that giant monster near the end of the chapters?
evil fairy.
Yeah.
Evil.
I'm just
before the
like-
Skull Knights showed up.
Yeah, and I'm just like, ooh, this is cool.
Yeah, she was
That-
fierce.
Oh yeah, and also that big
She's like,
slug monster
oh,
that ate everybody.
you like my insects? Huh? And then she was like, whatever, see ya. And it's like anticlimactic.
Jeez, Pip. That's
But that was like they are the biggest boobs I've ever seen in a fairy ever.
That's true. They were pretty big fairy boobs.
They were big fairy boobs.
she was like human sized. That's probably why.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on, I can't remember the name of the battle, but the big one that made the Band of Hawks into
The Band of the White Phoenix.
Oh, so
Band of
hearty.
White Phoenix.
They're like- Or
The
whatever.
Donray, the
Doldray.
castle.
Yeah, so let's talk about that because we haven't really talked about that at all. What were your guys' thoughts while you were reading that entire thing? Because there was a lot, there was a bit
Saw that
happening.
old man.
There was a
Saw
bit
that old
happening.
man again.
Yeah, and he got his, like,
Face.
Face stabbed in.
He got his comeuppance, as they say.
Yeah. I thought that it was interesting, though, because they never specified a reason for that battle to have been going on so long, aside from, we want to own this territory.
Yep.
And I was like, that's messed up. They're like, yeah, this battle, is probably going to go on for like 100 years. You're going to sacrifice people to get this place?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's like no. It's a good place to attack. It's like it's kind of part of their land. That's what I got. It was like close to the border or part of actual Midland. Midland.
Okay,
Konikuchi
so
Bochi.
it was like a strategic future war endeavor. Like
It
they're
was like
wanting
a
to take
foothold.
over it so that they could prevent future wars, kind of a thing.
But they're already in a war for years.
Yeah, but that gives the other guys the upper hand because that gives them the strategic upper hand because they're basically over there in Midland. So that's kind of how it is. And I could give you an example from Legend of Galactic Heroes, but nobody's.
No,
We can think about it like
I
now.
see. I see what
Right.
I understand.
Like over in like Russia and Ukraine. Russia wants this part of Ukraine, even though it's like part of Ukraine. Russia's just like, oh well, there's some problems here, so why don't we just take this area while they're busy destroying themselves over there?
Yeah.
That was
Keeping it political, keeping it topical.
I know. I was like, wow. All that
Hey,
unity
I'm
is doing
watching.
you good.
Putin, man.
It's only gone for 2 days.
Man.
But what I loved about that was Casca showing off her badassery a little bit more, even more.
She's just the best.
She's all
literally
acrobatic and stuff, man.
God, yeah.
She's such a good, like, I don't know how to say this without it sounding like a weird diss.
Do it.
I don't know
Just
why.
speak it.
I don't know why I feel like
Such
I
a
have
good
to.
man.
I don't know why I feel like I have to walk this tightrope, but it feels like you always have to walk a tightrope when you're talking about female characters, and I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
like, I love that she's so strong and so like badass, but is also extremely a woman. Like there is
Boy,
no
is she
question
ever
at all.
so
She doesn't in any way feel like a character that was written as a man, but then just turned into a woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Like
agree
she
with that.
is
They're-
absolutely a woman, and she's absolutely a warrior, and I think that that's awesome, and is another good representation of the writing.
And
that's
something
going on.
else that I love
I
about
think it's
that
great.
is.
Rock, paper, scissors. Go.
Wait, no, you can't. No.
It's a
Okay.
bomb.
What I was gonna say was another part of that was later on when they're at the party and she's wearing a dress and Guts is like, I never would have thought you'd be somebody who would wear that. And she's like, it's just easier to move around in male clothes when I'm
I
fighting,
like
but I
dresses.
like dresses.
I like dresses,
I
yeah.
loved
Yeah.
it. I was like,
Yeah.
perfect, because it didn't feel like it was a forced thing. Like
Yeah,
you said.
usually you would expect a character that would be like dresses.
Yeah,
no.
I hate
I
you.
want
I
to
was
put
like,
my pants on.
no.
Where's my armor?
Yeah. So
She's like, well, it looks
This is something
pretty.
to prove.
I'm a
Like,
woman.
she knows what she wants to do, and she knows who she's fighting for, and beyond that, she's like, I don't need to explain myself to you. Snap, 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 and I'm like, hey.
It was like when they came back from the thing at the start, and they're just like, "Oh, what happened?" She's like, "Oh, I had a problem that women sometimes have."
Yeah, she's so unapologetic about the fact that she is a woman, whereas so many other characters you see are like, they're
Yeah.
strictly like, oh, trying to be super tough and like, let's not have any sort of femininity. What is that word? Femininity.
Word.
Because
Right.
it's almost like people get scared to write strong female characters with a lack of femininity. I can't figure out how to say the word, because it's almost like that's associated with weakness.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, if we want this character to be perceived as tough, we can't have her be feminine because they're going to assume that she's like just playing tough. But
Right.
what I love about Casca is the fact that the author's like, no, she's, like you said, she's both. Like, she is not distinctly just a male written as a female. Like, and that's what I love, or a female written as a male, whatever.
Well,
You know what?
I also like when the hold hands part, and she grabs his thing. Right then, it looked very vulnerable.
Grabs
But then I'm
his thing.
thinking,
Grabbed his
it's just
thing.
Casca though.
Which part are we
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah.
Like my perception, it's very funny. In the lecture I was in yesterday, we have a perception that is given to us by our worldview, and our worldview says that if a female is like that, she's very weak and she's very vulnerable at that stage. But then we have to challenge that worldview because Casca isn't like that. She can, if someone attacked right then, she probably would have jumped over Guts' shoulders and gotten her sword out and was
You would have
killed
done
that guy.
back to back, you know?
Yeah,
Which they have
you
done,
know?
yeah.
And it's just really weird to see that, but know that she's still really good and really badass.
Yeah.
I know. I was very conflicted there when I saw that panel,
It didn't.
and it was fantastic though because she was very cute in that panel. I thought that was nice.
Yes, Alex, you've been trying to talk.
No, I was just gonna say that I would like to point out that this awesome, strong, but very female character was written in 1994, and manga authors and many authors today are still struggling to write a character that is.
I would also like to say it's also coming from Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1994, this is 20 years ago.
Yeah, and like it's not even just manga authors, it's authors. Like it is writers that still cannot figure out the fact that you don't need to take every single feminine aspect away from a woman to make her a strong woman.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's true.
See, my
Right.
favorite quote
Person,
from
right, a person.
George R. R. Martin on Game of Thrones. He says, an interviewer asks him, "Why do you like? What made you write such strong female characters? How did you get in the mindset of doing that?" He's like, "I just write females."
Yes.
Yeah.
That was also asked of not JJ
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Yeah, they asked him, they're
Yeah.
like, why do you write strong female characters? And he just went, because you're still asking me that question.
Yeah.
It's like, you shouldn't have to, I agree. I agree 100% with that.
Don't hit the microphone. Don't hit the microphone.
Hey,
I love you.
Sherlock.
Okay, bye.
Hey, Sherlock.
I was telling Aaron, being up here and just like standing right here, like all day. Every time I sit at my computer, he's like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" And I'm like, "Scoot, scoot."
Get out of here.
Love you, but scoot. Anyway.
Somebody we haven't talked about is the fact that Zod was back. He
he
popped
helped out.
Yeah.
He popped out and
Yeah.
helped out.
He showed up and was like, "Here's my sword, dog." I was like, "What?"
He knows what's coming as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta wait till a year.
Who was Zod again?
Zod was the demon that they found in the catacombs.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that they were
bull
like,
guy.
The guy that
Yeah.
turned into a big bull. Yeah.
yeah.
So I love monster designs. Can I say, like, Dodger, I'm like fully appreciating all of that
Yeah.
that's happening. And like, it always catches me off guard because so often I'm reading this and it feels like it's just a historical fiction. It doesn't feel like there's the fantasy, and the fantasy pops back in and I'm like, oh yeah, that's also in play. That's also a thing that's happening. But it doesn't feel out of place. Like, it still feels in the story.
Yeah, and all of the characters, even though they're extremely strong, all of the characters still respond like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
they do live in a world where this stuff doesn't just happen all the time. It
Yeah.
exists, but it doesn't happen all the time. So they're like, this is not, what do I do with this? Like,
Yeah. What am I? Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Rick
think
was
about-
flipping out.
Yeah, you think about like a fantasy
Poor
setting
Rick.
like Berserk, and you're just like, oh yeah, dragons and shit. But like it exists, it's just like super rare. And so even like they react like, you know, anybody would have reacted to weird shit happening. They're just like, oh fuck.
yeah.
Oh fuck! Just little chibis of them all just running around.
In circles.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I was like, I was happy that he popped back in. I was not expecting him to pop back in there, and the fact that he threw Guts' sword, was not expecting that to be how he came back. Because he wasn't there for that long. He just kind of jumped in and then jolted away. He was gone. He's like, later.
Like,
No, that wasn't Gus' sword. That was Zod's sword.
I mean, he gave Guts Zod's sword.
Yeah.
That's what I meant
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, Guts broke his sword many times.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 times throughout what we read. So
So was he using Zod's sword later on? Or
no,
did
he
get
left
his-
it. When he went up to talk to Casca after the victory, he kind of left it over
Right.
there.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't
And he made his
remember.
own sword.
Yeah.
yeah, and we had that whole scene where he went to the blacksmith too.
What was I gonna say? There was something else. We're coming up on it. We're at an hour, so should we give our final thoughts and ratings, or is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we do that?
I think we covered everything. Oh,
I just want to say the art is beautiful still.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
oh yeah.
Art is
So
still
good.
beautiful.
Miura's a really great artist. You can see his improvement.
Griffith's face is super weird most of the time. It's wonderful.
So
It's great because now his art's getting really good. He can use that art for metaphors, as Alex said earlier about the whole demon face on the king. Art is metaphor.
yeah.
Yeah, it's real good. He's real good. He draw picture.
He
Real good.
drop it good.
He drew a picture good.
He real,
Good picture.
So
Real
art,
good.
much good.
Real pretty.
Wow.
What was I gonna say? The gore. We didn't talk too much about it, but like the gore, I feel has gotten just so grotesquely gorgeous. It's so good.
There's actually, it's funny you mention that because I went to go see like that Body Worlds kind of exhibit that they have, and like they show like the different pieces
At
of
OMSI?
No, at it was down in Buena Park.
Oh, they don't have OMSI
Yeah.
here?
Yeah,
I was like, what is OMSI?
I think
No.
it's the obviously one. You're talking one of
That's the Oregon thing. That's Oregon.
Yoku
I
knew what
went
you
to
were
that.
talking about.
Yeah.
I went to OMSI one with the body.
Yeah, but anyway, I was gonna say that, and like, there's a scene where Guts hits a dude so hard. It might not have been intended to be this way, but this is what it looked like. It looked like he hits him so hard, his brain comes out the back of his skull, but it's like intact. And I was like, that's really cool, but like, having seen how our bodies are constructed, that's just like so in the realm of ridiculousness that like he could have like just had him like his head come off, but literally he hit him so hard in the chin that his brain flew out the back of his skull. And I was like,
That's
oh my
not play
god.
around.
I was like, the whole time I was reading that, I was like, yeah. And I flashed back to when a lot of the times I was reading the gore, I was getting really excited, and I flashed back to the time when Yoku first brought up that we were going to be reading Berserk, and that I was going to be really happy because of how gory it was. And this whole time I was reading, I was like, Yoku was right. He knew.
No,
He
what
knew.
Yoku...
It's so
You guys
good.
were complaining about it, like it's not that gory yet.
Oh,
It's
but
not that
now
gory.
it is. Oh, it's so good.
Now it is.
It's great.
No, because Yoku kept being like, oh, we're reading Berserk. It's gonna be the most awkward manga pod yet. And we got on here and we were like, it was great. Yoku looked super disappointed.
But then we
it's
read
not
these
awkward. It's not the
chapters
most awkward one with Onani
where the
Master.
king almost gave his daughter head, and we're like, yeah, that was disturbing.
That was
Yeah.
pretty damn awkward.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was just-
stop everything. Everybody stop it.
On that
Yeah,
note,
but that was we were still new to MangaPod. I still
We
didn't
were.
know you guys' limits.
limits.
We have no limits.
You guys
in the
have no
Manga
limits.
Pod.
No.
I've been looking forward to Kids Like Sis. That's gonna be some limits right there.
Yes.
But looking forward to. I mean, I don't wanna do it.
I don't want to do it. Yoku's gonna be mysteriously sick again on April Fools.
Yeah.
I don't want to distract anyone, but I did post my favorite panel from the MangaPod or from
From MangaPod.
MangaPod. No, from the manga in the chat.
Oh, the
Oh,
back.
in the chat.
Oh,
The
look,
best!
I just have to go. I'm done. Give me about 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay, no, that's cool. I
Oh.
feel you. I feel you, bro.
I was like, wait, no, Dazzle, you were gone at the start.
Yeah,
You can't be
Dazzle,
dead now,
Okay.
Final
Should we
thoughts and
give
ratings.
Final thoughts and ratings?
Yeah.
All right.
Hang on, I'm gonna pull up the spreadsheet of what our previous final ratings have been. So if somebody would
Yeah.
like to start.
Yeah, but let me say first that there's probably still a lot more things we could still talk about.
Yeah.
Just like for the viewers, it's just we could keep kind of bouncing off and on things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we can't be here forever.
Yeah. I'll go first. Berserk is awesome. It's fucking great. I love it so much. It's beautifully drawn. It has incredibly well developed characters that are written fantastically, and it'll make you uncomfortable. It'll make you feel a little grossed out, and it'll also just like blow your mind. So I think last time I gave it an 8.5, and I'm gonna give it a 9 now because I think it's just gotten better and better and better, and that still gives it, I mean, however many more clicks to get to 10.
Each manga pod is like one decimal.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 9.1. Just like,
See you next time.
It's
Damn
like,
it.
you're never gonna get to 10. We don't have that many manga pods.
Fingergans.
Yes, you gave it an 8.5 last time.
9.
So 9 this time. Oh yeah.
That's me. Those are my feelings.
Where? Okay.
Shocker.
Yoku?
No, I'll go next. All right. But
If I have to.
when it came to ratings, I know that for the first one I gave it a 7, and the second one I gave it an 8 because I know what's to come because I have read it. And so far, let me just say that I have read this and I've seen the anime, but I've read this about like 2-3 years ago. It's been a while since I read it, and I feel like I'm enjoying it like as much or even more, probably even more than the first time. I don't know why. Probably because of MangaPod for sure. Because we do discuss stuff like in more detail. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like when I'm reading things, I'm kind of looking into stuff a little bit more than like I'll be just like marathon shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm not gonna give it much higher than an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I want to give it more. I do want to give it more because my enjoyment for this was pretty much like a 9.9. That's enjoyment. That's enjoyment. But I don't want to give it any higher than an 8.5 now because I know what's to come. Like I said, because I don't want to just like blow up and give it like a 10 and be like 11 out of 10 next time.
Yeah.
so I'm gonna give it a 9. I mean 8.5. Shit.
Fucked it up, Yoku. It's going
Damn
in the
it.
spreadsheet.
No. It's already
You
edited.
bunched it.
But seriously, check it out. Keep reading. Don't stop. Believe it, because it's really good. It gets even better. Like really, it gets even better.
Yeah. It just keeps
Like-
getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
So.
What? Like we're 69 chapters in,
Out of like 300 and some.
and it gets better and better and better. The only downside is that the chapters, once you do catch up, you gotta like freaking punch the wall.
That's the
'cause-
downside. Oh yeah, because you're never
He's
gonna
still
get
on
another one.
hiatus.
Yeah, there hasn't been a chapter in what, like a year?
A year.
Since 2012, apparently. 2012.
There was
2013.
Yeah, there was a couple, but the chapters when he does release is usually like every 3 months. It's not like a monthly series. It's every 3 months, every 4 months, 6 months, year. It's a killer, man.
Well, apparently he had that 5-part thing that he was releasing. Then afterwards he had more Berserk, but
I just freaking want more Berserk. That's what I want. But it's just nice. It's nice rereading it. That kind of refreshing my memory as well, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. 8.5.
Yeah.
Gotta go up. Gotta go up.
I last time, the first time I gave it an 8.5, and then last time I was like, I want to change my old rating, so I changed my first rating to a 7, and then last time I gave it an 8.5. It was very confusing. But this time,
Can you do that?
I did. I hope.
actually you only gave it an 8 last time.
That's against the rules.
Wait, what? I did?
Oh wait, no, 8.5. Sorry, I'm looking at Yoku's scores.
Yeah,
Sorry.
get out of here. Get off my
Okay.
scores. Goodbye.
What do you give it now, Aaron?
I'm gonna give it a 9 because it is one of my favorite manga that we have read on MangaPod for sure, and that's about what my enjoyment level has been pretty high up there. But it is just the way that the author is able to craft not only characters but plot and how the plot unravels is just incredibly impressive, and it has been since the first time we read it, and it just keeps getting better. It hasn't even really hit its stride, I don't think. So every single time I'm reading it, I'm just overwhelmed by the amount of symbolism and foreshadowing and thought that's gone into the manga, and I just find that incredibly impressive and really art is absolutely gorgeous. It just keeps getting better, and I cannot wait to read more of it. I look forward to it. I already read a volume past, and it just keeps getting so good. So I highly recommend it. If you watch through this and have not read it, then you should definitely go and read it. So 9.
I want to blow out and give it a 10. I really do.
Wow.
But are you going to?
Yeah, that's the question.
But I'm not going to,
Okay.
because as you guys said, it's probably going to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
as Alex has said, the best has yet to come, and I'm just
serious.
like,
Read the next 4 chapters. That's all you need to do, and then you're just gonna be like, "Welp."
Just read the next. Read
Forever.
volume 11.
Literally forever.
Read the next.
Yeah.
so I'm just like, I'll give it a 9 because the last time I gave it an 8. So I think it's, and the time before that, I think, hold on, where is the time before that? Berserk 1. Where's
You
Berserk
gave it
1?
a 7.5.
All right, so I'll give it a 9. I think it deserves a 9.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just so good. It's so good. But I was actually reading it yesterday between classes, and then I had to go to class, and I'm just like, I don't want to go to class. I want to read more Berserk. But it was just so amazing. I if I had more time and more ways to just put my thoughts together, I would. But I just so good, just so.
That's a
9.
good way of putting it, though.
You're speaking
For my
Quinese.
enjoyment, I'm gonna go above 11 and say 12 out of 10 for enjoyment.
I'm gonna go. I love how you said that. Like, you didn't go, I'm gonna go above 10. You're like, I'm gonna go above 11, which already means that's above the
11
rating.
11 out of 10 is normal. Yeah.
Because I gave Mirai Nikki an 11 of enjoyment.
That's right, you did.
Because I was like, this was really enjoyable. But this, it's on a whole nother level. It's just, there's like a level where Mirai Nikki is probably about here-ish, you know? And that's already pretty damn good from where we are, but Berserk's like, it's gone. Like, you can't see it.
That's a big,
Actually-
that is a
actually,
big difference
looking-
between 11 and 12 for you.
No, looking at the database, Dazzle has actually gave Pokemon Adventures 1,000 out of 10.
What? Confirmed. Pokemon Adventures.
Best manga
Best
ever.
manga ever written in history.
Yes.
Why even write anything new anymore? Just literally print copies of Pokemon Adventures over and over again. Forever.
They should. They really should. And they are, and I'm happy about that.
That's amazing.
And it comes out more often than Berserk does, so.
Oh, come on. Can't claim that card.
can't do it like that.
He's like, shut up. I know. Fuck.
OctoPimp.
That's
Alex.
me.
That
Okay,
guy.
so
That guy.
I mean, like 9.5 out of 10. Like, it's Berserk. It's the classic. It's like one of the best seinen mangas ever written. It's really, 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 really good. Like, the characters are really good, the story's really good, the art's really good, and it's just a super enjoyable manga. It's fantastic, and I cannot recommend it enough if you want a good, like, adventure kind of darker tone manga to read. That's it.
Thumbs up.
That's it.
That's up 0.5 from the last two ratings.
Is it?
You gave it a
Did I give-
9 before.
Yeah, well, like, it's
It keeps-
like, it was like 9.5 because the ramp up to, like, it's
Hold
so good.
Hold
It's
it!
so good.
Hold it!
See? So good is what this manga is.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think all of our ratings are just.
So good.
My friend has been texting me Berserk pictures this entire podcast, and she sent me one because the reason that Miura is on hiatus is because he just sits in his apartment all day and plays Idolmaster.
Right.
That's all he.
Yeah.
And she texted me this picture of Guts holding up an Idolmaster box. And... Yeah. Come on.
So what are we reading next week, you might be asking yourself. Well, viewer, you get to guess.
Okay. We were all like, I did not.
What, do you think I'm an amateur? Think I haven't been here?
I did not.
You're pulling Aaron.
Speaking of amateurs, I did not put it in the description this week. So, suckers.
Nice.
Learning
Oh,
from
alright.
your mistakes.
Hi. Yeah.
Yo.
All right,
Okay.
let's do this.
Yeah.
Teiko Middle School Basketball Club, an incredibly strong team with over 100 members and 3 consecutive championship wins. I can't see. Among their brilliant record was a generation of 5 prodigies called the Generation of Miracles. However, there was a strange rumor concerning the Generation of Miracles about one player recognized by the 5 prodigies, a phantom 6th man. When Kagami Tiger joins Seirin High School's basketball team, he meets something Tetsuya, a horrendously bad player. Kagami is shocked to find out that Kuroko is rumored of the Generation of Miracles. Not only is Kuroko terrible at everything from
Just gave up.
to shooting, he lacks so much presence on the court that at times even people forget he's playing. But during games, that person uses that lack of presence to his advantage, specializing in passing the ball to stronger players. In order to become the best player in Japan, Kagami agrees to team up with Tetsuya to defeat the other generation of miracles.
So we're reading
Yes,
Slam Dunk.
So you're reading Berserk again.
We're reading Berserk.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
Makes
we
sense.
went Gantz, Berserk, Kuroko.
We need this.
We need a break.
We need
we
like
need this break.
a weird fluffy sports anime.
Yeah! Yeah!
It's been a little bit sports, right?
Yeah, Yoker and I were
Oh,
actually...
for me especially,
Yoker-
since I missed Haikyuu.
Oh no, Daza!
No!
That
He's gone.
face.
He's gone.
He looked suspicious.
He looked very...
Right.
Yoker and I were talking about... Yoker and I were talking about how we've only read like 3 sports manga like in our 46 episodes. We were like, we need to do more. We need to
That's
do
messed
more
up,
of
I
this.
know.
But yeah, it's time for another sports, and then it's time for some Kuroko.
Time for another
Time for
sport.
some Kuroko.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know anything about sports animes.
Uh-huh.
I'm
That's
Uh-huh.
not kind of expert.
What content do you
yeah.
make on your channel?
I don't want to. That's not. Actually, it's funny. I have to show you some of what I'm doing for Ray because I have a character trait that I added to him that makes him extremely unsettling.
Yes.
But I was gonna say thank you for having me on. I had a great time, and I'll be on. I'll be on
Oh,
in
we
April.
totally lost. Yeah.
Yeah, for JoJo's.
Woo!
Yeah, ooh, everyone get excited because that's my favorite manga of all time.
Oh man.
That is another good one.
So excited.
Yeah.
That's when...
Although we're reading Phantom Blood, but whatever, it's
Because it's when the 3rd season comes out.
it is.
Daza,
It is.
come back. Daza, come back. No, he's gone
Too
completely.
late. All right. Let's
Well,
tell
now-
everybody who we are, and
Well,
we'll cover
now,
Dazzle.
Dodger, you're once again Dr. Daza. So welcome
Awesome.
back. Welcome
Cool.
back. Well, hang on. Let's tell how much we're reading of Kuroko.
Oh.
Because we haven't said that yet. Let's see if Daza can get back in here. But I don't know if I have to re-add him in. But let's just go.
I think
back.
his internet just probably dropped.
I think so too.
If he'll be back, he'll be back.
We are reading chapters. We're reading Kuroko no Basuke. It's gonna be our second manga pod on it. We're reading volumes 5 through 9.5, which means it's just halfway through volume 5 or volume 9, because we're reading chapters 35 through 73, which is where the first season of the anime ended.
Ooh.
So we're reading up to 73. So volumes 5 through 9.5, chapters 35 through 73. So that is what we were reading for Kuroko no Basuke next week. So let's go ahead and shout out our stuff super fast now. I am Erin of HappiLeeErin. Oh, he's back!
Yay!
Kind of, almost, yeah!
Ah.
Hi, Daza.
Daza!
You're just in time to shout out your stuff.
Yeah, you're just in time. You're a circle.
You there?
All right, let's just go.
There
There he is.
Oh, there you go.
he is! Okay,
Nope, he's gone.
What? No, he's still there.
Oh, he's gone
Nice.
for me.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
now he's gone.
Rest in pieces.
Okay,
Rest in
he'll be
pieces,
back,
Daza.
hopefully. We'll shout him out if not. I'm your host, Erin of Happily, and this is my channel where you're watching this manga pod. I do anime reviews and anime first impressions of different series that premiere each season. I recently did one on Noragami, which is an anime that you need to go and watch immediately because it's fantastic. I also do episode reviews of Kuroko no Basuke, and all of the previous manga pods are hosted on this channel in a playlist. I also do anime with a friend and talk about anime, and I also do lots of mental health awareness stuff. If you would like to find me on any of all of my stuff is HappiLeeErin across the board. I have Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, my anime list, which I don't really use, so go ahead and use Hummingbird, which is my favorite, aka Hummingbird. I love using Hummingbird.
Hummingbird.
So go ahead and follow me on that if you want to see all of the Kuroko no Basuke stuff reblogged and all of the Diamond no Ace stuff reblogged, because I love
Diamond
that
no
show
Ace.
so much right now. Mr. Diamond, yeah, you should go definitely check that out. So that's me.
I'm Dodger of youtube.com/pressstart-to-continue, where I do video game stuff, and youtube.com/dexterity bonus, where I drink coffee and talk to my cats. And on all of the social media stuff, I'm Dexbonus, DEXBONUS. So come follow me and I'll act caps at you.
Beauty.
That was quick.
I know.
Quick and to the point.
Next!
All right.
Come on, Yoko.
We're past 9. Next.
I know.
All right. Hey, no, hey, guys, too much pressure. No. Yeah. Where you can find me?
Hang up on him. Thank you for your call. Boom.
You guys can find me in the description below. No. And
Oh, yeah, that's also
Yokorama
true.
Game Talk. That's where I'm at, and I don't really talk about games. I just talk about anime. And on social media, Twitter is at Yokorama Talks, and I believe everywhere else, which is like Tumblr, Hummingbird, my anime list. Shit, what else? I don't even know what I have. Everywhere else, I'm Yokorama. I'm Yokorama everywhere else. Follow me on Tumblr, because we need to support anime food. That's what I've
Yeah,
been
all
pretty
you freaking
much-
post is anime food that looks delicious. Anyway, sorry, go on.
So good. Those anime food gifts are just... They probably not that good. You know the one with from Silver Spoon?
Next.
You know the one from...
Alex,
No.
Hi.
No.
No, go ahead. Please, finish.
I was talking about that egg and rice from Silver Spoon, and they break the egg and then like mix
Oh,
it. It's
good.
probably...
Yeah, I'm Alex. I'm youtube.com/TheRealOctoPimp. All of my other stuff is linked there. My Twitter, my Tumblr, all that stuff. You can just find it in all the links at the top. So it's youtube.com/TheRealOctoPimp.
Prove that you're the real OctoPimp, though.
I have nothing.
Prove it.
I have nothing.
I have nothing to prove. I got nothing. You got me. I'm a fake. I guess you could say I'm a decoy octopus. All you gamers out there will get that. Gamers, you'll get that. You will. You'll get it. Gamers.
Sweat.
Good night. Hashtag good night, everybody. Let's just.
Hang on, really quick. Dazzle
Dazzle.
will not be coming back because his router overheated, so he will not be coming back on. But if you want to find all of his stuff, by the way, all of our links are in the description over there. If you would, or there, if you would like to ever check that out. But all of Dazzle's stuff is there. His YouTube channel is youtube.com/fightingfornippon, where he does anime reviews and anime reactions, and a show called What We've Watched, where all three of us, except for you, Octo. God, I almost said.
OctoPimp.
I kept getting confused. Okay. Just keeps going. Have hosted, where he sits with a drink and talks about what he's watched that previous week, and then he has guests come on and join him. All of his stuff, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Hummingbird, are all Dr. Dazzle. Again, all of those links are in the description over there. You can also find links for our Reddit, our subreddit, where you can find a schedule for all upcoming MangaPod, and also a recommendation thread. So if you have a manga you would like to see us discuss on MangaPod, go ahead and post it over there. Is a link to our iTunes, which has not been updated in a little bit, but you can still go and listen to like the previous 40-some MangaPods. So again, next week we'll be here 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday here on youtube.com. We will be tweeting out the link so you can go and watch it from there. We'll be reading Kuroko no Basuke chapters 35 through 73. So go ahead and join us next week. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Are you guys ready to be done? Are you ready to
My
be
mouth
done?
hurts.
Are you ready to be done? I can be done.
Good night, everybody.